how are you? I have forgotten how to do this. It's been a while. The world is in shambles, so the timing is kind of weird, but it kind of makes sense since, I'm stuck at home. On a very, very brief, serious note, I hope you're safe, doing fine. But today we're gonna pretend like nothing's happening. So I actually have no reason to be bored because I am a grad student. So I could just be writing my thesis, but I'm not. I have no reason to be bored, but I mean, I'm roasting myself, but if you're in the same situation as me, if you're like a freelance, whatever, translator, editor, whatever you are, or grad student, it's perfectly normal for you to be confused and not very productive. No one knows how to react to this sort of stuff. This is new. No one knows how to deal with it perfectly because there's no such thing. So, I am, as I said, currently trying to finish my thesis. So I should really spend most of my time doing that, but we all know that's not going to happen, partially because of the above stated reasons, but mostly because I am a mess. So with the rest of my time that I would spend, I don't know, outside overpaying for coffee, I have decided to participate in the Owls again this year. I have sort of been reading as a tiny update for those who care. If you're still here, I love you so much. Thank you. You're really cool. So I was auditing a PhD seminar, and it's on climate change fiction, so it's really depressing. So it has not been fun reading those books during what's happening right now because it's all about, I think a couple of them do have pandemics in it. Yeah. I've been reading for that. A couple of readings have been fun. Overall I'm usually not as productive during the winter because, it's obvious, less sun, you have less energy, seasonal depression and all that. So, spring is usually when when I start, getting hyped up again, and the timing has been weird. We're doing our best. We're here trying. Again, thank you so much, G. The book roast. She hosts the Owls and the Newts later on. And thank you for hosting this. The guides that she comes up with, they're incredible, detailed, and not even just the parts that you use, so the career guides and everything. She puts little ads and stuff at the end. It's crazy, it's incredible. Bless you. Last year I tried to go for librarian. I failed. I would like to try again. But you know what? I'm just gonna switch it up, try a different career, and I'm gonna go for one of the easiest ones. So I went for one where you only need to take 3 owls. If I feel like reading more books, that's great, but I'm not gonna put a lot of pressure on myself. So I'm gonna go for journalist/writer. So the owls that you need to take are history of magic, Muggle studies, and one other subject of your choice. History of magic, the prompt is witch hunts. So you're supposed to read a book featuring witches or wizards. So I have a couple of options, actually not a couple, 3 for 2 of the prompts. I really need to give myself some options because I might change my mind. First option is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. Thank you to my friend who gifted this book to me. If I don't get to it on this readathon, I promise it's on my TBR with 100 other books. The other book has been featured on a TBR of mine, I think, before, and the other one also, I think. My brand is being a mess. Welcome. It is what it is. So, the book that I'm talking about is These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. And I couldn't wait for this to arrive. When I ordered it, I was like, I need to read it, I need to read it. Why wouldn't it arrive? And then it arrived. And I didn't fit it into this particular readathon. I think it was for the reading rush or whatever. And then I just never got around to reading it, which is, I know, annoying. And then we have a third option because it was another anticipated read for me, an anticipated release. And I started reading it actually, and this caused a big reading slump, but I don't think it was the book's fault. I think it was just bad timing. It wasn't its fault. And this book is Serpent and Dove. It is currently naked because I was reading it, as I said. And I have tried picking it up again, but reading slumps are the devil, and I hate them. The next prompt is Muggle Studies, and for this, we were supposed to read Book from the Perspective of a Muggle. Contemporary. Bracket. So I'm taking this loosely. Contemporary is like general fiction, realistic fiction. So again, I have three options. The first one is Little Fires Everywhere. The second book is Normal People by Sally Rooney. This might be the one that I read, honestly. It's not too big. I feel like this is gonna be the one. And the third book is a weird choice for this, but it is about a muggle. There's no magic. I'm talking about Into the Wild. Sometimes depressing things make me feel better, but it might backfire. So let's see. And then for the last subject, I picked Transfiguration, where you get to read a book that contains shapeshifting. I actually picked this prompt specifically for one book. I also could have picked Care of Magical Creatures, Hippogriffs, Creature with a Beak on the cover. So the book that I'm talking about, I don't have a physical copy. I'm gonna be listening to it on script. I am doing the free trial. And I'm talking about An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. Yeah. I loved Sorcery of Thorns. That was one of the last books that I read before I got on this weird reading slump thing during the winter, I think. And it was the last video that I recorded was actually reading that book, but I never published it because it was kind of a mess. I might go back and watch the footage to see if I can do something with it. I really loved that book. I know for a lot of people it was a disappointing read. I don't know what to tell you, man. I loved it. It reminds me of Owl's Moving Castle, and I love Owl's Moving Castle. It was perfect, just the book that I needed at the time. So I'm really excited to read anything by Margaret Rogerson at this point. I'm getting the same level of excitement that I get when I read something by Maggie Stiefvater. Speaking of Maggie Stiefvater, I haven't read Call Down the Hawk. I know. I got the book box, and I didn't read it. I hate myself. I don't want to promise content, but I would like to attempt to do a reading vlog of Call Down the Hawk during quarantine. Could be nice, me reading outside, petting my dog. Like if you want that video. Those are the books that I'm going to try to read or pick from, because there's a pool of books to read for this year's OWL examination. Part of me feels silly for trying to do several things when I should really be doing one thing, but I tend to be more productive when I am doing several things, you know, like because the body in motion tends to stay in motion. On other news, I did get Animal Crossing New Horizons upon release, and yes, it is taking a lot of my time. In the same note of not promising content, but putting intentions out there of things that I might attempt, I might be coming back very, very soon with a Plan With Me video for April on my bullet journal, and I'm gonna be doing something for the owls because I enjoy it and it makes me happy. And we need all the serotonin that we can get, like all of it. Can you spare some, please? Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. I'm just trying to make the best out of things while acknowledging that a lot of people can't make the best out of things because they're just in a terrible, terrible situations. But for myself, I'm very thankful that I can at least try to mimic a positive, optimistic environment, because I am a depressed mess, but I'm also optimistic. So it's always a fun ride with me. So thank you so much, and I will try my best to be back sooner rather than later, but I will be back. My social media is down below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff if you've enjoyed today's content, and thank you so much for enduring me. Bye.